Welcome back to the channel USD Coins, everyone. Today we're diving deep into the mysterious and intriguing world of American coinage, and in particular, we're going to explore a coin that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters alike, the 1986 Liberty Quarter Dollar. There have been countless rumors, articles, and viral posts about this coin, claiming that it could be worth up to $7.5 million because of certain rare minting errors and mistakes. But what's the truth behind this coin? Could something as ordinary as a quarter minted in Philadelphia in 1986 really be worth millions? Or is there more myth than reality in these viral claims? Today, we're going to peel back the layers, go behind the mint doors, and investigate everything from the coin's physical characteristics, production run, known errors, and historical context, to the market dynamics that determine such a staggering valuation. Buckle up, because this journey into numismatic mystery might surprise you. The first thing to understand is that the 1986 quarter is part of the Washington Quarter series. This series began in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Since then, it's been one of the most widely circulated and recognized coins in the United States. The obverse of the quarter has remained largely the same since 1932, featuring the familiar profile of George Washington, while the reverse has seen changes, especially with the introduction of the state quarters and later the America the Beautiful series. But in 1986, the quarter still bore the traditional eagle design on the reverse. Now, let's hone in on the 1986 quarter specifically. Minted in large quantities, over 551 million of these coins were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, designated by the P Mint mark. On the surface, it seems like just another year in the Washington Quarter series: massive production, general uniformity, and wide circulation. But rumors and stories about an extremely valuable error version of this coin have persisted and spread like wildfire across the internet. People have claimed to have found rare errors, and coin forums often host photos of quarters with oddities, hoping one of them could be the elusive jackpot. Let's talk about that supposed $7.5 million price tag. What could possibly cause a modern coin, with a face value of just 25 cents, to skyrocket in value by a factor of 30 million? The truth is, for a coin to command that kind of price, several unique factors must align: historical significance, extreme rarity, demand, condition, and most importantly, a recognized, dramatic minting error that is authenticated by reputable third-party grading services. In most cases, only coins from centuries ago or with extreme historical provenance command multi-million-dollar valuations. So when we hear a claim about a 1986 quarter being worth $7.5 million, it triggers skepticism, but also curiosity. Could there be an undiscovered treasure lurking in our pockets? Before we jump into the specifics of known minting errors from that year, we have to understand what a mint error really is. In numismatics, a mint error refers to a mistake that occurred during the production of the coin at the mint. These errors can happen at various stages: during blanking, upsetting, striking, or even during the die creation. Some common types of errors include off-center strikes, double strikes, die clashes, planchet errors, and misalignments. The rarity, visibility, and extremity of the error play huge roles in determining the coin's value. Minor errors may fetch only a few dollars over face value, while dramatic and rare errors can command thousands or even hundreds of thousands. So, what about the 1986 Liberty Quarter? Are there known, documented errors for this coin? The answer is yes, but with some important caveats. There have been instances of 1986 quarters exhibiting off-center strikes. Some examples have been seen struck 5%, 10%, or even more off-center. Off-center errors occur when the planchet, the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, is not properly aligned under the dies. The result is a coin where part of the design is missing and the edge is visibly distorted. The more off-center it is, while still retaining the date and mint mark, the more valuable it can become. For the 1986 quarter, off-center examples have fetched prices from $50 to $250 depending on the severity and overall eye appeal. Another type of error seen in the 1986 quarter is the double die. This occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during its creation, causing a doubled image on the struck coins. Most commonly, doubling is seen in the inscriptions such as "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date itself. While doubling can range from minor to extreme, the most valuable types are those where the doubling is dramatic and visible to the naked eye. For the 1986 P quarter, strong examples of doubled dies are extremely rare and not widely confirmed, which makes them even more desirable if authenticated. Let's also consider die clashes. A die clash happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between. This causes the design elements of one die to be impressed onto the other, and subsequently appear on coins struck by those dies. Clash die quarters from 1986 are not common, but when found, they can be quite striking in appearance, eagle wings appearing under Washington's chin or parts of the motto appearing in the wrong fields of the coin. While these might not command millions, strong clash die coins can still be highly collectible and bring in several $100s in the right market. Then there are planchet errors, such as coins struck on the wrong metal. This is where things start to get interesting. For example, if a quarter was accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a nickel, dime, or even a foreign coin, it would be lighter, possibly smaller in diameter, and often have a different color or ring when dropped. These wrong planchet errors are rare, and for the 1986 P quarter, only a handful are rumored to exist. In verified cases, they can fetch thousands of dollars, but here's where we start addressing the elephant in the room, that $7.5 million claim. The reality is that no grading agency, auction house, or reputable numismatic database has recorded a 1986 P quarter ever selling anywhere near that price. The origin of that figure seems to come from internet speculation and viral videos. Often, these kinds of stories gain traction because they appeal to the dream of finding hidden treasure. A coin in your pocket that could buy a mansion is an alluring fantasy. But in numismatics, value is determined by strict criteria, and hype doesn't last unless it's backed by authentication, condition, and provenance. Let's hypothetically imagine what would have to happen for a 1986 P quarter to genuinely be worth $7.5 million. First, it would need to be a one-of-a-kind error, something no other coin from that year or series has ever exhibited. Perhaps a double denomination error where a quarter design is struck over another coin, like a cent or a foreign coin, and it somehow slipped through undetected. Maybe it was struck on a gold planchet by mistake, although that would raise major red flags about authenticity. Or perhaps it carries some previously undiscovered historical connection, maybe a coin struck during a presidential visit to the mint, or with a hidden design element that wasn't meant for release. Then, it would need to be in pristine, mint state condition, ideally MS 68 or higher. Finally, it would need the backing of an auction house, authentication by PCGS or NGC, and bidding wars from high-end collectors to drive up the price. So far, none of that has materialized. But that doesn't mean the 1986 P quarter is worthless. Quite the opposite. Because of the viral attention it has received, even minor error coins from that year now command more attention. Collectors are combing through rolls of quarters, looking for off-center strikes, double dies, clashed dies, and wrong planchets. As demand increases, so does the secondary market. Coins that might have fetched $20 a few years ago are now selling for over $100, especially when certified by third-party graders. It's also important to understand the role of condition in coin valuation. A circulated coin, no matter how rare the error, is always going to be worth less than an uncirculated or mint state coin. Grading agencies assign numerical scores to coins, from poor 1 to mint state 70. The higher the grade, the more desirable the coin. An MS 67 or MS 68 error coin from 1986, even with a minor error, could be worth several hundred to several $1,000s depending on market demand and visual appeal. Let's not forget the emotional value, too. For many collectors, finding an error coin isn't just about the money. It's about the thrill of the hunt, the satisfaction of discovery, and the knowledge that they hold something rare in their hands. Even if a coin isn't worth millions, it may still be a cherished piece of a personal collection, a conversation starter, or a gateway into the world of numismatics. Another thing that adds to the mystique of the 1986 P quarter is that 1986 was a transitional time in coin production. The U.S. Mint had been phasing out certain older practices and implementing more automated quality control. But that didn't mean errors were completely eliminated. In fact, some argue that the period between 1982 and 1989 produced a surprising number of small but interesting mint errors across various denominations, including the quarter. Whether due to mechanical issues, worn dies, or misfeeds, these errors provide a window into the complexity and fallibility of high-volume coin production. Today, get ready to dive deep into one of the most talked-about modern coins that sparked curiosity, debate, and even disbelief, the mysterious and extraordinary 1993 P Liberty Quarter Dollar. This isn't just any 25-cent piece. It's a coin that's rumored to carry a staggering face value in the collector world, some estimates placing it at an eye-watering $5.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, $5.5 million for a single quarter. Now before you rush to your coin jar or dig through your old pocket change, let's understand what makes this particular coin so valuable. It's not just the date. It's not simply the Philadelphia Mint mark. It's about the incredible, almost otherworldly combination of minting errors, anomalies, and unexplained quirks that make the 1993 P quarter such a numismatic legend. There's a blend of confirmed flaws and speculative mystery that surrounds this coin, and in this video, we're going to explore it all, down to the finest details. From misstrikes and planchet issues to double dies, misplaced mint marks, and controversial overstrikes, this coin has earned its legendary status not just from myth but from real, observable oddities that have collectors, historians, and grading experts buzzing. Let's start by setting the scene. The year is 1993. Bill Clinton has just taken office, Jurassic Park is about to break box office records, and the U.S. Mint continues producing coins as usual from its various locations across the country, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint, marked by a P on coins, is responsible for minting hundreds of millions of quarters each year. Most of these coins are routine, made to exacting standards with little variation. But every so often, due to human error, mechanical fault, or pure chance, something extraordinary happens. The 1993 P Liberty Quarter Dollar in question isn't just valuable because it's old. It's valuable because of what went wrong, and how spectacularly wrong things might have gone. This coin is believed to exhibit several distinct minting errors. Some are visible to the naked eye. Others require magnification, expert grading, and forensic-level analysis. But the effect is the same. They make a once ordinary coin into a priceless artifact. So what are these errors exactly? First up, let's talk about the most commonly discussed and widely sought after error type, the double die. A double die error occurs during the coin's creation process, particularly in the hubbing stage, when the design is transferred from the master die to the working die. If this process is misaligned or done more than once at slightly different angles, the resulting die creates coins that show a doubling of the design elements. On the 1993 P quarter, some collectors claim to have discovered doubling on key features like the word Liberty, the motto, "In God We Trust," and even on George Washington's profile. The doubling is subtle in some cases, dramatic in others. But if authentic, such doubling on a modern quarter can exponentially increase its value. Next, we move to the mint mark itself, the small p on the obverse, near Washington's ponytail. In normal conditions, the mint mark is punched cleanly and clearly. But in this particular case, anomalies have been reported. Some claim the mint mark appears to be repunched, meaning it was stamped more than once in slightly different locations. Others say it appears to be partially missing or faint, perhaps the result of a clogged die or damaged punch. Still others believe that there are examples of the 1993 P quarter showing an inverted mint mark, an error so rare it's nearly unheard of in this era of minting. Any one of these possibilities would be enough to raise eyebrows, but the presence of multiple mint mark anomalies sends the value soaring. Let's not forget about planchet errors. The planchet is the blank piece of metal that eventually becomes the coin. In some 1993 P quarters, experts believe the coin was struck on an undersized or oversized planchet. That means the quarter may appear thinner, thicker, or oddly shaped. Some planchets may have come from different coin types altogether, nickels, dimes, or even foreign currency blanks accidentally mixed into U.S. mint machinery. Such errors not only give the coin a bizarre physical appearance but also represent a stunning breakdown in mint protocol. There are also stories, albeit more speculative, of off-center strikes in these 1993 P quarters. In such a case, the coin isn't properly aligned in the press, causing the design to appear shifted or incomplete. Imagine a quarter where George Washington's head is sliding off to one side, or the words on the rim curve awkwardly away from their intended position. An off-center strike of just 5% might not command too much attention, but when you get 15%, 25%, or even 50% off-center, the value shoots through the roof. Another theory that has caused excitement among collectors is the possibility of an overstrike or mule error. A mule error occurs when the obverse and reverse of two different coins are mistakenly paired during the striking process. For example, the head of a quarter could be paired with the tail of a dime or half-dollar. While this is extraordinarily rare, it has happened before in U.S. mint history. Some experts have speculated that at least one specimen of the 1993 P quarter may exhibit characteristics of a mule strike, possibly even sharing elements of the 1993 Kennedy half-dollar. If this were verified, the value wouldn't just be in the millions, it could rewrite numismatic history. Then there's the issue of strike quality. Most modern quarters are made with sharp, consistent pressure. But when die fatigue or misalignment occurs, the result is a weak or partial strike. Coins may lack detail in areas such as Washington's hair, the eagle's feathers on the reverse, or the lettering along the edge. These strike-through errors may result from foreign material, grease, fibers, or debris, getting in the way during the striking process. Imagine a coin with parts of the design missing, blurred, or distorted. Some 1993 P quarters show such signs, and when authenticated, these flaws can massively raise the coin's value. Let's also touch on die cracks and cuds. A die crack is exactly what it sounds like, a fracture in the die that gets transferred onto every coin it strikes. These appear as raised lines or blobs on the surface of the coin, often following unusual patterns. A cud, on the other hand, is a blob of metal where a chunk of the die has broken off. Both features are typically seen as defects, but to collectors, they're gold, especially when they occur in dramatic or unusual forms. On the 1993 P quarter, some reports describe die cracks across Washington's face, through the motto, or radiating from the coin's edge. Each of these could be the smoking gun that transforms an everyday coin into a multi-million-dollar find, but perhaps the most compelling reason the 1993 P quarter commands such mythical value is the sheer convergence of multiple errors on a single coin. Any one error, doubling, off-center strike, mint mark anomaly, planchet mix-up, might fetch a tidy sum. But when multiple errors appear on the same coin, especially one minted in modern times when quality control is so rigorous, it becomes more than a rarity. It becomes a miracle. Now, you might ask, why isn't this coin better known? Why haven't we seen it featured in auctions with banner headlines? Well, part of the allure and mystique comes from the limited number of known specimens. Some say fewer than 3 authentic, high-grade examples have ever surfaced, and even those are kept tightly guarded by private collectors or still await formal grading. The lack of widespread awareness adds to the sense of treasure hunting. Like a modern-day gold rush, the question remains, could you have one? It's possible. Millions of 1993 P quarters were minted and circulated. While the vast majority are normal, unremarkable coins worth just 25 cents, there's always a chance that one or two escaped detection and made their way into circulation. That's what keeps collectors checking their change, scouring estate sales, and poring over eBay listings. The dream is real. The thrill is alive, and let's not forget the role of grading companies. Top-tier graders like PCGS and NGC wield enormous influence when it comes to authenticating errors and assigning values. A coin authenticated by one of these giants, especially with error notation, becomes a blue-chip asset in the collecting world. If a 1993 P quarter is ever slabbed and officially labeled as a double die with mule characteristics and mint mark anomalies, its value could easily breach that $5.5 million mark. Even now, whispers within the numismatic community suggest that at least one example has been submitted for private evaluation, its details kept secret due to insurance and security concerns.